So my main focus is to be able to teach people the best and fastest ways to build and structure 800 credit profiles with $100,000 credit limits and enough points and miles, turning everyday expenses into worldly experiences by using credit cards, points, and rewards wisely and responsibly. So the more we can educate people in the credit system, I always say money makes life easier, credit makes money cheaper.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kesil, and today I'm joined by someone I've been looking forward to chatting with, Ryan Alexander, who's been making serious moves in the credit space. So really glad to have you here with us, Ryan. I think our listeners are really going to take something away from how you're teaching people how to work with credit and leverage it to their advantage. So let's dive in.
Cool. Thanks, Michelle. I'm excited to be here, and hopefully everybody grabs a quick cup of coffee, glass of water, and puts their seatbelt on because this is going to be fun and really entertaining.
Yes, buckle up.
I love it.
So first off, for people who may not be familiar with you and your world, give us the short version. What's your main focus these days?
So my main focus is to be able to teach people the best and fastest ways to build and structure 800 credit profiles with $100,000 credit limits and enough points and miles, turning everyday expenses into worldly experiences by using credit cards, points, and rewards wisely and responsibly. So the more we can educate people in the credit system, I always say money makes life easier, credit makes money cheaper. So if we can educate people on how the financial system works, because it's not taught in schools, it's not taught in banks, it's not really taught hardly anywhere. If I can create a platform and or an environment, a community to help educate society, the ripple effect will enable more people to buy houses, start businesses, and travel and see the world.
Amazing. So yeah, like what's step one for someone that doesn't have knowledge in this?
So the hardest thing about this, everybody, when people say, what's the number one step with regards to building credit, and it has nothing to do with credit, it's build a budget. Because people don't really understand how much money they make and what they're actually spending money on or how much they're actually spending. Too many people, and I always say, if you really want to be nauseous, anybody who carries credit card debt, go look at how much you paid in interest last month. If you want to get pissed off, go look at the interest you paid last month because you carried a balance. That's what people don't understand and realize. So when you build a budget and you realize that you should never carry credit card balances, credit cards are not an extension of income. Building a budget will help you prevent that, because if you use your credit card, and my number one, I'm just going to throw the biggest credit tip, trick, and secret that I teach every single day, PTZW, pay to zero weekly. Pay your credit cards to zero weekly. People don't realize that one simple trick. If somebody came to you and borrowed $100, do you want them to pay you back in 1 week or in 4 weeks? The answer is 1 week. Building a budget will help you pay your credit cards off every single week, and that prevents you from paying 24% interest on your credit cards. So when you start building that budget, it sets you up for everything else, because then you can start learning about credit.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
You can start understanding how the factors work, but it all stems from the budget and being able to manage your money properly on a monthly basis.
Yeah. Okay, so what if someone doesn't know this and they're like, well, I have a lot of debt, so I'm already past that point. Like, what would you say to that person?
So what I would say first is, let's look at what your budget looks like. How much money do you actually make? And then in the expense column, there's two columns. There's needs, mortgage or rent, car payment or insurance, cell phone, food for kids, whatever the case may be. And then there's wants. There's groceries, and then there's Chick-fil-A, DoorDash, and Starbucks. There's a huge difference between the two of those, and many people don't know how much they spend on those things until they literally go through line by line. So once they create that budget and look and say, okay, here's how much money I'm making, here's what my hard expenses are, where can I trim the fat, and how can I now then pay off my debts? And paying off your debts is going to come down to how can I restructure the debt? Because many people are sitting, I have people with 8, 10, 15 credit cards, and they all have a balance, carried balance. What I do is I teach them, okay, what can we do with the smallest amount of money out of pocket to pay down some of those debts, to boost our credit score the highest it could possibly be, and then restructure the debt with hybrid models between loans and or 0% interest credit cards. Because many people think 0% interest credit cards are the answer. Well, that's not really any good if you max out that credit card and your credit score takes another hit, because now you're stuck and trapped. And at some point in time, you'll have to refinance or get another balance transfer card and then another one. And then all you do is you just keep kicking that can down the road, but you never solve a problem or get rid of the actual issue.
Okay, interesting. And yeah, how do people actually raise their credit score?
So the best ways to raise credit scores, it comes down to, so the credit scoring system itself comes down to 5 factors. Payment history. Do you pay people on time? Okay, we're talking about anything that reports in your credit report, like student loans, personal loans, auto loans, home loans, and credit cards. They're the 5 type of accounts. Okay, so the first thing is payment history. The second thing is, how do you manage your credit cards? If you don't manage credit cards wisely, which is credit card utilization, 30% of your credit score comes from managing credit cards. Many people, let me ask you this question. Do you think having more credit cards is better or less credit cards?
Less?
What do you think? Less? Right, you would think that. It's the opposite. The scoring algorithm works differently. The second thing is this. People rack up credit card debt, and they may pay in full. The problem is this. What people don't know is, even if you pay your credit cards in full, but you report a high usage, right? Credit utilization. How much credit do you have? How much are you using? Even if you use 60% and you pay it in full every single month, that usage is what causes your score to drop. So once again, by teaching people to pay their credit cards to zero every single week, it reduces that utilization. Then you have the age of credit history. Credit cards are the only type of accounts, and there is a huge difference between credit cards, well, we'll say credit cards and charge cards. Charge cards don't have credit limits. Doesn't mean you can spend as much as you want. It just means they don't have a reported credit limit that goes on your credit report. Credit cards do. So you want to build a portfolio of the right credit cards, and then that will help naturally lower your utilization. Because if you only have one credit card at $3,000, 10% of $3,000, I don't care what anybody says or tells you, you do not ever report more than 9% on your credit cards. 9%. Most people will tell you 30%. The answer is 9%. It's got to be less than 9%. Below 5% is the sweet spot. By having more credit cards and more credit limits, I'm not suggesting this to everybody. I have 21 personal credit cards and 7 business credit cards. I have $250,000 of personal credit limits and over $1 million of business credit limits. I'm not telling everybody's got to do that, but the more credit limits you have, and the lower you keep your usage, the more banks and lenders are going to look and say, man, this Michelle girl, she's great. She's a low risk borrower. She's got lots of opportunity.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And the more credit cards you have, the more banks compete for your business. So having all these things in mind, paying on time, low utilization, building old age of credit history, it's the simplest, best, and fastest way to boost your credit score over time. Can you tell I'm a little energetic and passionate about what I do?
Yeah, but that makes it entertaining.
I told you it's going to be entertaining for you.
Awesome. So, what if someone is stuck, like they have a lot of debt and they're overwhelmed because maybe they're not making enough income to pay it off and they just feel like, yeah, they feel like stuck. They feel like they don't know how to get out of it. How would you help them?
So it's kind of like when people are stuck and having to lose weight. Okay. Many people, they get stuck looking at their credit score and they're like, I can't figure out, it's not moving. That's like wanting to lose weight. And all you do is you look at the scale and say, I can't figure out why I'm not losing weight. When you want to lose weight, you look at what you're eating, what you're drinking, how you're sleeping, how you're exercising. With credit, you look at, are you paying on time? What's your usage? What's my age of history? And how many total open active accounts do I have? You have to learn how the system works. When you think about credit, it controls your approval odds, it controls your interest rates, it controls your insurance rates, and heck, even some dating sites are using credit scores. If you don't learn how the factors work, you can't fix or boost your credit score. So you have to take a little time. I don't care if you buy books, I don't care if you watch videos. You have to be careful where you get your information from, but you need to invest and how the 5 factors actually work. And then you look at your finances and say, okay, how can I manage these accounts and how can I manage these factors that make up my profile so that I can build a better, thicker credit profile and boost my credit score long term?
Hmm. And how do people hack the system? Like, how can people use credit to their advantage?
So, I mean, it's like this. So, for example, if I went to buy, let's just conceptually say a $35,000 car, the difference between good credit and bad credit, talking somebody with a 750 credit score or higher versus somebody with a 500 credit score. Over a 5-year loan, it will cost you an additional $8,000. Ballpark. I've done the math. I've used NerdWallet. I've played with some calculators. The same thing with a mortgage. If you go to buy a $350,000 house, the amount of interest you save simply by building a better credit score and a better profile, and I can do it for many people in 3 to 6 months. If you have bad credit, it may require 6 to 12 months, but I'll be able to tell that quickly once I look at a credit profile. But once you build that credit profile, people will throw money at you and they throw it at you at substantially lower interest rates.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
It's
that's
fun.
super interesting.
And then once you start to do that and you start to build a portfolio of the right credit cards, right? Like, because it's unfortunate. And I get a lot of my business because I wave the shiny objects, right? Like, what do people see when they or think when they see this? They think luxury, they think status, they think, wow, I'm rich. It's just a credit card. Like, at the end of the day, I have people that get these things one time and they can't afford them the next month. It's better to start with lower tier cards like the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, the Built Rewards card, or a Capital One Venture. Like, have you ever seen this card here, this Built card? Cool. So for many people, especially in real estate, the Built Rewards credit card allows you the opportunity to pay your rent or your mortgage with no processing fee. And you earn points like you would on a Capital One Venture or Chase Sapphire card. The card gives you a routing and an account number. So I like to teach people little hacks like this. For example, I pay $3,000 a month on my mortgage. That's 36,000 points every single year that I earn. I can transfer them to British Airways if I want to go fly to England. I can transfer them to World of Hyatt if I want to have 4 or 5 free stays. You can take the everyday expense of your rent or your mortgage and convert that into worldly experiences. That's the coolest part about it.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff. Do you have any other hacks for realtors or investors? Because that was like the main audience here.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Sure. So the biggest hack that I have for realtors is this. Number one, you need to establish credit well before you want or need the credit. So many people, they try to go after credit when they need it. And the problem is, let's say here's that opportunity. If that opportunity comes and now you don't have credit and you got to build it, you miss that opportunity. But if I start building credit here and that opportunity comes, I'm already built and established. So by building credit before you need it, when you actually need it or go to use it, your score is that much higher. So many people that go to invest in real estate and their credit score is at 610, 630, interest rates are a lot lower. I mean, a lot higher because your credit score is a lot lower. And that makes borrowing a lot more complicated. Less loan options. It's more favorable when you have a higher credit score. You get better interest rates. Again, the insurance rates, all these things. Instead of buying one house, you might be able to buy 3 houses. It's just all a matter of understanding how the credit scores influence all finances and all aspects of finances.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you mentioned you created like a teaching platform. Can you share more about what it is that you teach people?
Sure. So have you ever heard somebody say, I can get you 12 months of 0% financing on this, that, and the other thing? Have you ever heard that, Michelle? Okay. So I have too. Here's the problem. You got to have over a 700 credit score. So if you don't have that and you don't know how to build a 700 credit score, what do? Most people don't know. They're like, I just pay my bills on time. Like I had a guy yesterday, guy makes close to $1 million, but he's stuck in the 620s, 630s. Why? Because he doesn't understand how the credit algorithm works. In about 3 to 4 months, I guarantee I'm going to have him in the 700s because I know he makes enough money and I can restructure his profile. So by teaching him how the fastest way to build a 700 credit score, I can help him boost his profile. That's why I built what's called the 700 credit class. I teach people the 5 factors on how they work and the differences between a mortgage FICO 2 score and a credit card FICO 8 score or a Vantage Score 3.0, which is Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, or NerdWallet, things like that. I teach people through my 700 credit class all the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of how the credit system works and what they need to do to boost their score.
Amazing. And how did you get into this? How did you learn all of this?
I was dead broke. 11 years ago, I was sleeping on an office floor. I lived in an office, the office I worked in, selling insurance, on an air mattress. And I was dead broke, crashed and burned, third time in my life. And it was just because of taking big gambles in life. Like I took a gamble on commercial real estate 2 years before 9/11 happened. We unfortunately know what happened there, and everything came to a screeching halt. In 2008, I made another gamble with mortgage industry, lost everything I had on that too. Then I had another gamble with some technology that I hired a company to build. I lost everything I had again there. So it was in losing all 3 times and realizing like, man, like this bad credit, it was like impossible to get ahead. And then I said, well, let me figure out this credit thing. So what did I do? I made a financial investment. I invested in a credit course. It cost me $500. And now 8 years later, I'm traveling the country with a 6-figure company, teaching people from high schools to business owners. I'm teaching people around the country how the credit system works and how to live better. Simply, I don't care if you make $30,000 a year or $3 million a year. I can teach you how to build a better credit profile.
Amazing. I love that story from like that being your struggle too?
It
That
it
being
was a
like,
rags to riches story. It really
yeah,
was. Like,
yeah,
my
can
friends now who made a lot more money than me, all except for one, I make more money than them, and they all come to me for credit advice.
can you share a little bit more of like how you went from like the bottom to now? Like, what were some of the things that you had to do?
Sure. So the first thing I got rid of was the 9 to 5 mentality. I got rid of the 9 to 5 employee mentality because that mentality, it's like, I'm not working more than 40 hours a week. Okay. Ask a business owner how many hours they worked before they became your boss. How many hours did they have to work? Go ask real estate investors. How many hours did they work? And educating themselves on, okay, how does real estate work? How does financing work? What are the ins and the outs of contracts? How do I negotiate? How many hours did they spend outside of working 9 to 5 before they became savvy enough or smart enough or had enough experience to invest in real estate? When you realize that 9 to 5 mentality is what holds most people back, like, we just got back from a trip. I just was last year 10 days in Barcelona, and then just last 2 weeks ago we were in England. So when you realize that the 9 to 5 mentality keeps most people broke, you start saying, okay. And then you start looking and saying, how many men know more about their fantasy football stats? And all the players are in fantasy football leagues, but they don't know squat about their FICO scores. It's an interesting question. And like, oh, it's not that important. They'll go and lean on their girlfriends or on their wives' coattails because their fantasy football means more to them than their FICO scores. And so what I try to teach, it's funny, you're like holding back. I can see. It's funny because that's just the mindset and mentality of America. It's like, it's somebody else's job. It's somebody else's responsibility. It's somebody else's fault. No, it's not. Wherever you are today, I don't care what happened. It's your fault. And even if it's not 100% your fault, it's still your problem. And when you
Yeah, it's your
develop that mindset,
responsibility to resolve it.
that's it. You got to have the resolve and you got to have the accountability. And so with people that I do one-on-one coaching with, my credit course or credit program, I've made it affordable for the masses. It's cheap, it's affordable, it's very, very simple, but it just teaches you the ABCs, one, two, threes. When I do one-on-one coaching, it's all documented and recorded. So at the end of 90 days or 6 months, guess who can't lie? Me, because it's recorded with my name, my face, and my company on it. But 3 to 6 months later, and I told Michelle to do this, this, and this, and Michelle didn't listen, guess who can't hide? And you can't blame me because it's recorded documentation with exactly what you need to do. And it is an absolute process. If you understand the algorithms and I just have to get my payment history to here, I have to keep my utilization to here, I need my agent history to be older than this, and I need to have a nice diverse mix of credit accounts. Can you get an 800 credit score with one credit card? Sure you can. It will take you a long time. I teach people how that system works to make it happen faster and to make the profile more stable. Because if that one credit card gets closed or something happens, you're screwed.
What happens
So if that
if
one
it gets
card, so if
closed?
that one card gets closed, you lose that age of credit history. So you've lost 30% of what makes up your FICO score. And now you don't have any credit cards. Sometimes it makes it a lot harder for you to get another credit card. Or you can only get what I would call crap credit cards, not the good credit cards that offer the best perks, rewards, and cash back.
Okay. Amazing. That is super fascinating and such important stuff. So, before we wrap up here, if someone wants to connect with you, reach out, or just learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to reach you?
So the best way for people to reach me, most of my content is on TikTok. It's just for whatever reason, TikTok I took off. You can go to iteachcredit.com or you could just send me an email, info at iteachcredit.com, info at iteachcredit.com. You could just send me a message, reference this podcast. I'd be more than happy to help. It's just so important. And again, I don't even care if you don't learn from me. Just spend a little bit of time, understand how the credit system works, and learn how the credit system can influence all aspects of your finances. I promise you again, I don't care if you make $30,000 a year or 3 million. Having better credit will help you live and lead to a richer life.
Perfect. Well, listen, I really appreciate your time, story, and perspective. We need more people who are teaching and educating in this new way. So thank you for being here.
Oh, I appreciate it, Michelle. Thanks for having me on here. It was awesome.
Yeah. And for those of you tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure you're subscribed. We've got more conversations coming with operators just like Ryan who are out here building real businesses. And we'll see you all in the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.